We're back with NBC News' Tom Brokaw and Wyclef John and Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick. Tom, you were talking about how this was a reset.
It is a reset for the country, in part, obviously, because we're facing very dire economic circumstances. We have had the election of the first African-American president, who also represents a new generation, which we can't overlook as well. And I think, and we've talked about this in the past, 45 and older people are looking at this and they're slightly disoriented. They're very encouraged by what's happened. 45 and under,
yes.
They're saying, hey, wait a minute, this is where we are. This is our life. And it's not just black and white, by the way. On the West Coast, for example, we now have from California a Vietnamese congressman coming to Washington, somebody who was evacuated at the end of the war. The state of Washington has had an Asian American as the governor. So there is a change going on that is really profound in this country in terms of people willing to look beyond or not look through the prism of race alone. It's not perfect yet. We still have ways to go down this road.
But and who would believe Louisiana would have an Indian American Republican conservative government?
Right. And that's not unimportant. And this really is the apotheosis of all that, which is what we're witnessing this week. Now, having said all of that, people have to remember we're not going to get through the next year just on good feelings alone. Everybody's going to have to get on deck and pull on the oars, and my guess is that the new president will have that as a piece of his inaugural address. The tricky part is keep people motivated, give them reason to dream and to soar, but at the same time say we're going to have to develop some calluses in the next year.
Governor, it's a tough time.
It is.
For a president to be coming in. What's the biggest challenge?
Obviously the economy, getting it moving again, getting it expanding so that opportunity is genuinely available. He's talked about, and we have, that the American dream is a part of our character and our culture. And in order for that to be meaningful, we've got to make the economy work and work for everybody. And we have all got to pull in that direction. So just to build off of Tom's point, I think that the goodwill is a great platform for that kind of movement, and I think we've got just the kind of leader to tap it.
Speaking of leaders, Clef, I understand people want you to go to Haiti and run for president there, but that's an issue that you want, and Tom can be your running mate, but that's an issue you want Barack Obama to focus on.
Yeah, actually, as I'm sitting here, I'm in my artist mode DNA. Yeah. I'm cooking up a record for the three of us. The hard way. For me, I left Haiti when I was 10 years old, and I think the curse for any Haitian that's in Haiti is anytime you do something good for the country, you want to become president. I feel this would probably be a job for my little brother. His name is Samuel Jean, who graduated from law school. I was supposed to go to Eastern Nazarene College in Boston to be a minister, but I chose the route of music. I feel I could do much more in what I know to bring awareness to the country. My plan is to start a school. I have a foundation called Yele Haiti, so I have no bug of being a president. I love my rock star life, but I have to inspire Haitian kids. What I mean? That's what I'm about.
Talk about the inspiration that American kids are getting this week. We see so many young children here for this inauguration.
A whole new outlook, I think.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, what happens is whenever there's a change about to come, it comes from the kids. So every night I would perform in front of 10, 15,000 kids in different colleges throughout all of America when I was campaigning for Barack Obama. And what I want people to understand, the newer generation has nothing to do with color. Like, they don't have a clue of what's black, what's white. Everything is really one thing. So the kid in the suburb and the kid from the hood, it's all really the same thing. We see Barack Obama as an inspiration, naturally.
Tom, we've talked about that several times before. I think 45 is a line of demarcation for a lot of Americans.
The generational
people look at
divide.
Barack Obama, younger people, they don't see a black guy. They see a talented politician that became president.
Listen, he didn't get elected because he was an African American. I mean, there was a component in all of that, but he was easily the best candidate, ran a brilliant campaign. I just did a long interview with Warren Buffett that we ran last night, and we're going to be seeing more of today. And he said he's inspirational, and he's analytical. And he said, I can listen to him in a meeting with a lot of different points of view, and he's the best editor I've ever seen. He pulls those ideas together and synthesizes them in a way that very few people can do it, and he understands all the component parts of it.
And he's inquisitive. He's interested in those.
And that's the point. He brings to the table not just an open mind saying, tell me what I need to know, but he is an active interrogator. Somebody else also said to me at one of the meetings, when you have somebody on a conference call on the speakerphone, they're pretty much ignored. Barack Obama always goes back and said, are you listening out there? In this case, it was Warren Buffett who was in Omaha on the speakerphone, and he works the room around. People who had dealt with Bill Clinton, who was a brilliant guy in his own way, said we'd go into a meeting, he'd talk for 45 minutes, and at the end we'd say, it was a great meeting.
Well, and his ability to communicate. Through the campaign, we saw the team communicate on many levels and get to many facets of society in a way that we haven't seen before. And we see even in the transition, his ability to communicate perhaps having an impact.
I'm a longtime student of the presidency and power and how people use it and how it affects them. And what you always have to be on guard against is that well-known malady called hubris. And when people are only treated deferentially, yes, sir, Mr. President, whatever. And what I have been impressed by with Barack Obama, given this exceptional run that he's made to the presidency, is that through it all, he's maintained his self-confidence, but he's done it in a way in which it's very carefully calibrated. It doesn't spill over. You don't get the idea that he now thinks that he can walk on water.
And Governor,
we got some hard times
as I saw him yesterday, I thought, here's a guy that was arrogant enough to think he could run for president, first-term senator, and yet he also has a humility about him, too. It's a great mix.
It is. It's a wonderful...
And when I say arrogant, what I mean is self-confidence.
But bold enough.
It's very bold.
He knew...
You've got to be ambitious
You've
to be
got to be. You've got to be.
He knew, and he appreciated, and he acknowledged that he was cutting the line.
Yeah.
I had the same experience in Massachusetts. The sort of... You're a fine fellow, probably a pretty good candidate, but it's not your turn.
Right.
Yeah.
But his point to the American people was it wasn't about whose turn it was about whose time it was.
Yeah.
And I think he brings so much to the table, and of course, the whole city, the whole country, and frankly, the whole world is feeling that.
It's alive, for sure.
Well, thank you all so much for being with us. And by the way, if you do decide to get into politics, just one bit of advice, okay?
Yeah.
You're going to have to lose the watch.
No.
The watch got to go.
The watch.
No, I
Show
like
the watch.
the watch.
Show the watch. I don't know that.
No, listen.
Clef,
But let me tell you.
That's why he likes the rock and roll lifestyle.
Exactly.
Listen, before I came here, Tom let me borrow the watch. So
He didn't let me borrow the watch.
We're looking forward to hearing what you cook up for a trio.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Thank you very much.
It's a hit. Thanks so much.